Hello. Hola, ¿cómo están? How are you? This is Lena with Especially Made for Me. We're actually going to be making something a little bit different today. I had a special order, a specialty request for a wreath. And let me make sure nothing goes off on here. Just notice I have my phone on here. Want to make sure that nothing it doesn't start ringing on me or anything. But we're making a specialty wreath. I had a special order for a Star of David shaped wreath. And as you can imagine, normally we see those more during the holidays, for like, Hanukkah, during the Christmas type time frame. So unfortunately, what that meant was, although I had have a good vendor that normally has these on stock, they were not on stock. They were on back order, and I just received it and I got all excited. I was going to be doing a summer wreath today, and I received this and I was like, maybe I can go ahead and get that specialty order done. So that's why we have that switch. We're going to be doing that summer one and do like a beach type theme, and I just decided, hey, this is kind of different, so I want to make sure I show you. This is the Star of David wreath form. Now these come without the stems, so we do have to use the chenille stems or pipe cleaners, which is what I'm working on now as we talk. And what we end up having to do is putting these in so that we can make sure we have something to lock in the deco mesh, because we're going to be using our deco mesh today. And I want to make sure, let's see, gotta change my camera view so I can show you some other things as well. But what I'm doing now is just kind of going to my corners and putting the chenille stems just to make sure that they stay put. So the way I do that, and I'm going to actually do this with this camera view, I'm just going to the corners because I want to make sure they do stand out, and that as I put the mesh in, we're going to be using the ruffle method today, that we make sure that we accentuate those corners because we want to make sure we can see that star shape. So this is actually the first time I'm going to be doing a Star of David type wreath form without actually doing a wrap around method. So so we're going to see how it comes. I want to make sure, I want to make it a little bit different than my usual type wreaths for her, since she did put in a special request. And so we're going to try it and see. We're going to work on this together. So this is how I put my stems in, and I pretty much do the same thing on the round wreath forms. But what I do is, because I want to make sure it doesn't move up and down on the crossbars, so I'm actually going to cross it over and then tuck it under. May seem a little bit funky, and I'll do that again on the inner rim as well, so you'll be able to see that from the top view. But this is what I do, and I just kind of make sure it's I pull it so it's nice and snug, and to make sure it's on top instead of the bottom of the wreath, then I just go around on that crossbar for both of them so I can bring them up. That way they'll be on the top. So that's pretty much all I do for that. So I'm going to change that camera view. If this is your first time joining me for one of the tutorials, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. And for getting notifications, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, well, not a newsletter, but our email list, there's a subscription link on the bottom of the description of the video if you want to sign up for that. I don't bombard your email box. It's not like a weekly thing where on each specific day I send an email out. It's all based on if there's any news to share. So if you want to know about anything as things happen, right before they happen, about our sales, our specials, when we're going live, and what we may be working on for special projects, or just to earn some rewards or special coupons and different things for ordering with me, then definitely do sign up for that email list. So I'm going to go ahead and change the camera view. I know you could already see the mesh we're going to be using. We have two different kinds actually that we'll be using today. This first one that you see here with the blue and the white is our striped edge deco mesh. And then we also have a basket weave, which I'll show you a little bit better once I cut it. We have a basket weave type deco mesh. So I'm going to be showing you both of those as we start cutting, so you'll be able to see a little bit better on the top view of the top view camera. So I'm going to change that view now, and hopefully you can see this a little bit better. Let's see. I need to zoom in a little bit more, I think, so that you can see a little bit better. Let's see if we can make that work. Excuse me while I do that. Just want to make sure you can see the table a little bit better. Okay, that's a little bit better, I think. Let me know if you can see okay. If you're watching, it shows that there's a few watching right now, so just let me know you're here by way of comment. That's the only way I'll know you're actually out there, who might be actually out there. And then if you can't see or hear too well, let me know that as well, just so we can make sure, because I'm getting some warning things here on YouTube. So I want to make sure that everybody can see and hear okay. So first thing, just to show you again how I was doing the chenille stems, since we don't have a wreath form that comes with them already attached, the stems already attached, we're going to be using the chenille stems, or pipe cleaners, if you call them pipe cleaners. And what I am doing here is attaching them to the corner. So that was the first thing that I did. And then we're going to go ahead and come here to do our middle so that we can bring it up. So this is basically how I've been doing this. Just running it under the bar, the little crossbar here. And if you need me to zoom in a little bit more, let me know. And all I'm doing is just make sure it's nice and tight, and I'm tucking it under and pulling it back up. Hopefully you're able to see that, and I'll be doing that again a couple of more times, so we'll see. And then to bring it up, because right now it's under the frame, so it's under the frame, we want to make sure it's on top, so we'll be able to do our deco mesh. So I am just running it back under that crossbar to bring it back up, and I'm just zigzagging it. So a little bit of work when you don't have the stems already attached, and when you have to attach the chenille stems, but if you do it this way, they won't move on you. If you leave them just the usual way, where you just do one crossover, it can still be moving up and down on your crossbar on either section. So that's why I do that, is to attach it. Now you could also use a little bit of hot glue and then cross it over, and that we just have to do that one crossover. That'll save you from running it a couple of times. But if you don't want to have to use that the glue, this is another option. So again, I'm just as if I was just going to be crossing it and being done. Instead of crossing it all the way around, I'm just going under, just running it under the bar and bringing them both up. Then I'm just going underneath to bring it up on this side, and doing the same thing on this other one. And then I'm just tightening it. That way it'll stay on. And that's it. It's not going to move anymore. Okay. And then we get to cutting. I didn't get to do any pre-cutting because I wanted to make sure I had the stems on in case I may need to, you know, cut less. I didn't want to overcut my pieces. Since I mentioned this is the first time I'm actually going to be doing the ruffle method with this, and normally I do the wraparound method. So this is going to be a little bit different. But I didn't want to make just the basic wraparound, which is normally, in case you don't know what that one is, it's just when you use either ribbon or deco mesh or even florals, and you're basically just going around the actual wreath form. It's a quick, easy way to do it, to get it all wrapped up and covered. And then you could add more florals or some embellishments, and you can make a pretty wreath that way as well. Okay, again, just running under to bring it back up, and then crossing over with the crossbar, and then just pull, and that'll give you your stems for putting your deco mesh. So we have one more to put on. So again, we're doing a wreath using a Star of David wreath form. It doesn't come, or at least this one didn't come with the stems already attached. So that is why we're using chenille stems or pipe cleaners. Just another way to call them, to run our deco mesh, because we're going to be using deco mesh this time around. Okay, so then we're going to be doing the same thing up on top. So it's going to be really covered, but we're going to have a lot of ruffles. Ruffles, kind of like ruffles have ridges. Doing the same thing here. Just want to make sure it doesn't move on our bar. This one you don't have to tuck it back under because it's already on top. Okay. And then we're going to pull to make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, so we're going to be using the royal blue and the white stripe edge deco mesh, so we can have both the blue and the white, with it being a Star of David. And then we're using the basket weave just in white to add a little bit more of that white as well. And I'll show you here in a little bit the ribbons we'll be using. The main ribbon has both, well, it has 3 different colors on it. It's got the royal blue, we have the white as a background, and then it's got the stars, Star of David's on there, and it's got them in that royal blue, which is very pretty, and then it's got the a silver, so it's got silver stars on there as well. So because we also have some silver, one of our ribbons, it's a silver color, and it's got that same kind of like a net type basket weave type of look to kind of match with our basket weave deco mesh. And then we have the blue and the white to go along with everything. I skipped one. Hope everyone's doing well today. It's Friday night. How are you out there? ¿Cómo están? Thought I was gonna not do any Spanish today, huh? Gotta throw in some Spanglish. So since we're doing a star-shaped wreath, that's going to be our word for today. So to say star in Spanish, get ready. Estrella. Estrella. So that would be star in Spanish. And believe it or not, there is a translation for the name David, in case you want to learn that, and that is David. D, it's spelled the same way, but just pronounced differently. David. And the spelling for estrella, it's ESTRELLA. Estrella. Okay, looks like we have 2 more, and then we can start cutting our deco mesh. But I'll show you our ribbons first, so you'll see what we'll be working with, since we can kind of see the deco mesh already, or you've seen it maybe if you were here at the beginning. So I already have it on the mesh roller. And again, if you don't have a mesh roller and you need to find a way to kind of have the rolls of the mesh do what they're supposed to do and roll without having them on the floor, you can use a box or a like a trash bag, depending on the size of your deco mesh and how big you might need that box or the bag. Okay, so here's the ribbons we'll be using. So this is the first one I mentioned. Let me hold it up a little bit so the top camera will see it better. So you can see the blue Stars of David, and then you can see, hopefully, let's see, you can see that silver one, and then it's got dots in the same colors, that royal blue, and it's got the silver dots as well to go throughout. And then it's got smaller stars, so there's different size stars. You can barely see them on there. There we go. How you can see there's different sizes, and we have the blue. So this is our main ribbon. And then I mentioned, now take some of it out, we have this silver one, and you can see it's like a netting type, but it's still wired, so it does hold the shape, so it'll match our basket weave ribbon. A little net, little mesh there, so that way we can have our blue and our silver. And we're gonna cut some of the mesh so you'll be able to see that as well. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to be cutting our mesh, and originally I was going to do 30, but this is a 16-inch star form, but depending on how you turn it, it's actually a little bit smaller, because the lady that actually, my customer that requested it, she didn't want anything too big. But these are kind of hard to find much smaller than this. So, and then as you know, if you do wreaths on a regular basis, let me actually cut this edge a little bit. It's a little bit jagged. So once we start adding the deco mesh, it does get a little bit bigger. So we'll see. So I was going to cut it at 30, and then I thought, since she doesn't want it too big, and we do have those different sizing on the form, I'm just going to go maybe a few inches smaller. So I'm going to do just 25 instead of 30. And that'll still give it lots of fullness. And I'm thinking we could probably get away with 20, but we'll see. We're going to try and see. I want to show you first the mesh, and see if it, even together it looks good, one on top of the other. But here is that royal blue with the pinstripe, not pinstripe, but the striped edge in white. So this is our, oops, our striped edge one. And then this is that basket weave. Let me see if you can see that a little bit better if I roll it. So it's not your typical, so you can see the holes a little bit bigger. Okay, and that's for the white one. So we're going to be alternating the colors, and we're doing ruffles. So for the ruffles, we're going to just kind of have our edges with the palm of our hands, have our thumbs right in the middle, and we're just going to walk it. Okay, just going to walk down the middle. This basket weave one is more It's a little bit more stiff. So we are going to put our ruffle in, and then we're going to shape it. Okay. So you know, I like making sure that it goes all the way around so that it'll be a rounded ruffle. If you see my tutorials before, you know I like doing that. So it just kind of gives it that nicer shape when we do that. Okay. And if you haven't seen those before, they do have some other tutorials using the ruffle method if you want to look for those. So you can see all the different techniques. So doing the same thing here, we're just going to walk our thumbs, stay put, and we're just going to gather our deco mesh. And there's our ruffle. So depending on how big your ruffles are, how much you cut, sometimes, you know, you can look just like a nice little flower. You can make it look like a little butterfly. You could put it upside down if you wanted to give it a different look. So this is where we're gonna make sure, once we get it all rounded and we attach it, that they are good neighbors. That's what I like to say. We want to make sure that they're good neighbors, that they're not pushing down on one another, but holding each other up. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. So we're still going to gather our edges. We'll grab them, make sure they overlap. That'll give it that rounded look. We do that on the top and the bottom. Okay, so now we have that rounded look, and this is where we want to make sure that the one that's next to it, it's not pinned underneath it. We want to lift up so they can kind of hold each other up on that part. Okay. Okay, going to 25. And this may take a little bit. Again, I do apologize. I did not cut ahead of time. Had quite a few things going on today, and time just got by me. We were running a couple of errands, and all of a sudden my notification went up. You know, we have these, you know, technology is just so great. I have everything on my phone, and I've gotten this watch now that goes with my phone, and it started vibrating on me, and I saw it. I was like, whew, it's 7:30. We gotta go. Gotta get home. So I had everything set up and had the YouTube queued and everything, but I didn't get to come and cut the deco mesh ahead of time like I tried to do, and just leave a couple of pieces to cut while I'm here with you so you can see how I cut it. So it may take us a little bit longer to get to the finished part, but you get to see everything from scratch. It's just another good thing. Again, just pressing over the edges and making sure that they're being good neighbors, not pinning each other down. Now here it's going to be great weather this weekend, which is nice. We've been having lots of rain. I know we needed the rain, but I'm thankful that we're going to have a sun-shining weekend. So hopefully that won't change. We know weather can change at any time. Okay, making sure we have our edges crossing over. That everything is being neighborly. One good thing about having both rolls one on top of the other is that you can cut both at the same time. Saves you a little bit of time there. If you're here watching live, let me know you're out there. If you don't mind sharing your name or where you're watching from. And if you're doing the replay, you can still let me know. Just watching replay from Minnesota. I do check on the comments periodically in case anybody asks a question on any other tutorials. I do check them, so if you do watch it later and you have a question, or just put it on there and I'll see it. Might not see it instantaneously, but I do check on the comments. And if you happen to make any wreaths or swags, or just as you make any of your creations for decorations or a gift or even for selling, if you don't mind, if there's something you watched here that motivated you to making something, or if you learned something new and you used any of the techniques, or you just to share what you've made, please do share it on social media and tag us. I love seeing what everyone is making out there. Just sharing some positive things. There's just so much going on in the world, and it's just one way to spread something positive. So do tag me. I do have some tags on the description of the video. You could use any of those to tag us, and I'll be able to see it. Just let me know, hey, I watched your video. I did the replay and this is what I made. It doesn't have to be exactly the same or even the same type of deco mesh. Just, sharing our arts and crafts. The love of our arts and crafts. I actually have I'm trying to get a group going on Facebook for the love of crafts. Just, sharing what we make, motivating one another and helping each other out with tips and different things. It's a free group, and we can help one another. If you're interested, please look us up on Facebook and join that group. It's free. Just kind of looking for members so that we can share the joy of crafting with one another. It's always nice to have someone else that loves making things, being creative, as we are called, creatives, just to be able to share things together. And again, here, in case you're just joining me, I'm just overlapping our edges so that our ruffle will be nice and rounded, and then I just make sure that it's lifting on the sides and not pinning the other ruffle down. I'm getting ideas on this as I go. I might do some curls on this too. I don't know. Just to add more of the blue and white maybe. We'll see how it looks once we're done with these. And then maybe we could add some curls. I love curls. I think ruffles and curls are like my favorite methods of the of making wreaths. Just adds shape. Adds shape. Makes it look pretty. Or should I say prettier? So I mentioned earlier about this basket weave one and how it is a little bit thicker even. The holes are a little bit more spaced out. I think that's why they call it basket weave. Because it's more weaved together. And because it has that look, it's a basket weave. Makes sense, doesn't it? Making sure they're being good neighbors. When I say that, it makes me think of a couple of things. Would you like to be my neighbor? Who knows that one? And then of course the commercial, like a good neighbor. Insurance company. I don't know why those came to my mind, but hey. So, Star of David. So our Spanish word, we said we're going to use star. That is estrella, in case you didn't hear it at the beginning. Estrella. Okay, so here we're going to need to make sure that they're being good neighbors on both sides. Because now we have a ruffle on each side of this ruffle. And then when we start doing the inner rim, we're going to have to consider that top ruffle as well as the bottom ruffle. So we just want to make sure everybody's getting along. Okay. Again, just making sure they're lifting each other up and not pinning each other down. Okay, so now we're going to start with our middle. So if let's see, so it can be more in view. We can kind of see that star shape, right? We have our 5 little corners, and we're going to fill it in. Now we're going to do the same thing in the middle. And what I was mentioning earlier was, even though we're going to be adding more in the middle, these white corners, their edges for the 5-star point is standing out more, just like we wanted. But I kind of want to add more of the blue. So that's why I was mentioning I'm going to be adding probably some curls onto the white ruffles just to add more of the blue on the outer. Okay, so that's what I was mentioning earlier. So we're going to keep on and add more ruffles on the inside. And let's go. Okay, so here we go. Again, we're going to need to make sure that they're being good neighbors all the way around. Okay, getting to our edges, making sure they go all the way around. And then making sure that these are lifted, so they're lifting each other up. They're not pinning each other down. Okay. Seems like a little bit of work, doesn't it? But it's going to be beautiful. Adding some white. This is just on our inner now because we just did our outer rim. Now we're starting on the inner, so we can have the inside of the star full as well. Okay, making sure it's rounded by overlapping our edges. And then lifting, oops, I just undid that. Must not have wrapped it real good. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Okay. Getting our edges to overlap so that way it'll be nice and round. And then making sure that the one next to it is not being pinned, nor the one on the bottom, so they'll all be lifting each other up. I actually got it from one of my vendors that I get things wholesale from. They had it on back order. I've been waiting for it for a little over a month now. You can check craftoutlet.com. I get a lot of my ribbons from them. And they also have the star. If you don't have not able to do wholesale, they have the star there as well. I have to see for when it's in season. I know I had contacted them trying to see if I could get it, since my wholesaler had it on back order, and they were going to try to get it in, but then my wholesaler got it in before they did, so so they might actually have it on stock now. And again, just overlapping the edges so it'll be nice and rounded, and making sure everything's being neighborly. We don't want anything pinned down. We want to make sure everything is rounded, because that's what gives you the fullness. Starting to feel the heat. And I have to find a way to have the fan on like I used to, without it getting too loud and you'll still be able to hear me. I have to figure something out. It gets really hot in this room when I close the door, even though the vents are open. And I used to turn on the fan, but two things would happen. Even though the fan is not necessarily loud, the ceiling fan, but you can kind of still hear like that background noise. And then you could see the blades from the fan, like the shadows on the on the table. So it's like, okay, that doesn't look good. Oops, my ribbons want to get off the table. We have a couple more, and then we can do our curls. Okay. I was thinking just a couple more, but I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of stems empty. A lot of chenille stems empty. Well, not a lot, but 3. It's gonna be nice and full. I like it. Okay, again, just gathering our edges, making sure they overlap. And making sure we have good neighbors. Just lift. Oh, look at that, I missed one. Put it in the wrong one. Let's see, did I do the same thing over there? I guess I'm talking too much, y'all. I'm not paying attention. This blue one should have gone here. Okay, here we go. No biggie. That's a quick, easy fix. Wish everything was that easy to fix. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we can wrap around. Okay. Let's make sure they're being good neighbors again. Alrighty. Now we can do another white one. So make sure these are wrapping. Okay. Took just a little bit of work. Can't wait to send her a picture. Making sure this time I don't skip anything. Doing a double for the basket weave one since it's so much thicker. I don't want it to come loose like that other one a bit ago. So in case you're wondering why I'm doing just one twist on the blue but doing more with the white, it's because I don't want it to come loose, because earlier it came loose. Wrapping around, making sure they're being good neighbors. cutting these at 25, just in case you did not get the measurement earlier on. You just joined. And this deco mesh is called a striped edge deco mesh. They have them in different colors and different combinations too. Ready. Same process at each stem, getting the edges to come all the way around, have them overlap. And then make sure nothing's being pinned. So as they hold each other up, they kind of give you that more of a full look, and that's the idea. You don't want anything pinned down. Okay, looks like we have 3. Whoops, no need to cut. Getting ahead of myself. Alright, don't be shy if you haven't said hi yet. Let us know you're out there. YouTube kind of gives us a count of how many are watching live. I'm glad you're here with us. Just can't see who's out there other than Miss Monica. Don't be shy. Okay. Again, same process, just overlapping our edges, making sure it goes all the way around so it'll be rounded. And then making sure that nothing's being pinned on either side. I'm going to move our ribbons over. They keep trying to fall on me. Okay. I like the smiley face. Alrighty, let's see, where are we? Got ruffles all over. See, just thought of something else saying that with the ruffles. Ruffles have ridges. Haven't seen that commercial in a while either. Alrighty. Neighborly. So for those of you out there that also are creatives, what's your favorite method You like more the ruffles, the curls, the woodland ruffle, the poof, the bubble. So many to choose from. I like them all, but I do have my favorites. Any favorites out there? Guess it all depends too on what we're making, huh? So I change things around based on what I'm making. Okay, it almost looks like with the way that they kind of push on each other that we have nothing but white in the middle. So I think I'm gonna like that idea with adding the curl as well on the white, just because for Star of David and for the lady that ordered it, she's a sweet lady. She's actually the rabbi's wife at a synagogue not too far from my home, and she saw the wreaths I make at one of the vendor shows and had come by and just kept looking and kept looking, was undecided, and then she said, would you make a specialty one? She was so cute. It's like, of course. Had to get all the specs. Alrighty. So here we go. We can still see that star shape, but with the ruffles, as we can see, we can kind of see all the white at the edges and white in the middle. And I know for her request, since this is her her specialty order, I know she wanted to make sure that you can see a lot of the royal blue as well, which is why I have the royal blue and the white going on. So I am going to add the curls to the white ruffles, just to kind of add that little bit more pop of the blue, because I know we have it on the ribbon, but with the ribbon also having that white base, I don't think that's going to be enough, and that's just me. So I'm going to add a couple of curls and see. I'm going to cut one first and then see if I like it, see if we like it, and go from there, because why not? Now just move the white out of the way. Okay, and for the curls, I only cut at 10 inches. Make sure I don't cut on that. The rule of thumb on this is you go by the size of your roll. So if it's a 10 by 10, then your curls can be cut for 10 inches. And you can do that by hand or use one of the, I say these. There's other crafts that I do with them as well, but it just makes it easier for rolling. And that's basically a curl. Okay, so we're going to add our curl here. Just to add a little pop of color there. I think I'm going to like that better. So it won't be so much white. I think I'm going to go with that. And then adding the ribbon will add a little bit more of that blue. So then that may be sufficient. So another thing with having one of these boards, self-healing boards, when you're cutting smaller pieces, you can just keep going. So if you don't have one of these, I definitely recommend it. Miss Monica, did you check into that Pro Bow, the hand, that tool I used for making those bows last time? Don't know if you saw the link or not, but I had put the link to where you can get it under the video for making the bows. Another thing I like about the ruffles, and I think I mentioned it earlier, when you do the ruffles, it just makes everything so full and just the wavy, you know, because it's ruffles. I like the definition. It just kind of has a little bit more pop. Still thinking about it, I understand. Yes, it's an investment. They do have smaller ones too. I know that big one I have can be a little intimidating, but you could always start with a smaller one. Okay, just making sure it's nice and tight. Aw, thank you. Well, I mean, don't rush to get it if you're, you know, if you need to. I understand. I kind of have to have my budget. So I understand. But if you're going to be making a lot of bows, or if you like making bows, or, you know, whether it's for yourself or, you know, the business, it's definitely a good way to go. Makes it easier for making a lot of bows at once. And that way your hands don't get tired. So you make a lot of bows, you know, little fingers and hands start hurting after a bit. You've only make a couple of bows and hands could be hurting. It just makes it easier and less painful. Woohoo, we're already going in the middle. Inner circle. If I can only find the stems. There we go. Oh yes, 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 yes. Definitely like that more blue in the middle too. Okay. Until soon. And 3 more and we'll be done with the mesh and we get to move on to ribbons. These are usually more popular, like I mentioned, during the holidays, like a Christmas, Hanukkah, that type of thing. So it's normally easier to find as far as the wreath form goes during those times. So I made sure I ordered some extra, just so I can make sure to have them in case of. So I was glad to see the order coming in. If you're just joining in, we're doing a Star of David wreath using a Star of David wreath form. This actually is a specialty order that I received from one of my customers. So it may seem a little bit out of season, I guess. It's like, why is she making a Star of David? It's because it's a special order that I received. And I wanted to make sure I got it done as soon as possible, although I was not given a time frame for getting it completed, just because I know it's important when someone wants something, you know, even if they don't give you a specific date. So we're using a Star of David wreath form, and we're using basket weave mesh, which is the white one, the white mesh that you see. And then the stripe edge deco mesh is the royal blue one with the white stripes at the edge of the deco mesh. Look at there. I think I like that much better. And you can still see the star shape. So, time for ribbons. Woohoo! Hi, welcome back. Alrighty. So, let's get our tools for our ribbons. And I think I'm just going to put them on all of them. So we have 5, I think we need 10 of each. So this is the one that I mentioned that's kind of like a mesh, like a netting, but it is wired, so we can definitely easily shape it. So I'm gonna kind of hold it this way, just in case we didn't see that at the beginning. Okay. I'm gonna be cutting at 12 inches. That is my norm for a regular size wreath. Not that I haven't done longer. So it almost looks like it's kind of glittery, but it's not really, it doesn't have any glitter. It's just the material that they use to make it. It's very shiny. So on these, just because of the type of ribbon, I'm not going to dovetail these. But I will be dovetailing the others. And at most, let's see how it looks at the end, because I'm used to cutting it diagonally if I don't dovetail it. But I'm thinking with the type of ribbon that it is, it may not be necessary. Okay, and this one is just the smaller ribbon. It's about 1 inch. But this one has all the colors in it. It's got the silver, it's got the white, and it's got that royal blue. Okay, let's see if I counted correctly in my head. Probably not. But we can definitely cut more ribbon if we need it. Now this one does have some glitter, for the stars and the little dots. And to dovetail, just in case, I'm just folding in half and cutting diagonally towards the corner of the ribbon. And that gives us our dovetail. Just in case we may have any newbies watching. So it does show we have a few more folks joining us today. Just being a little shy and not talking with us. Talking. See, my accent just went in. Just came out. It's that Spanglish. So speaking of Spanish, again, for star, since we're doing a Star of David, that word is estrella. Estrella. Alrighty, let's see what we have. So we're just gonna grab one of each, and we're gonna be attaching it to the same stem where we have our ruffles and our curls. Because remember, we did curls on top of the white, the white ruffles, but we didn't do any on the blue, because we just wanted to add a little bit more of that blue and not have so much white. So since we want our blue to stand out, and because the mesh ribbon, it's wider, making sure I pronounce that slowly, I'm going to put the smaller ribbon, of course, on top so we can make sure we see that. And then I just fold it to get where our middle is at so I can scrunch it. And that's where we're going to be attaching it to. Where we have our mesh at. Now you could go about 3 different times if you're not going to be adding any other embellishments, and then just tuck that under, or you can cut it if you're not going to be using any more of the stem. A couple of different things to do. Another thing you can do, and I do this more during the holidays as well, and also during for Mardi Gras, you can attach those styrofoam bowls. My accent is just kicking in. To the end of your stems, and that kind of gives it, again, more of a little bit of a definition. If you haven't seen those videos where I've done that at, that's another option. Okay, so there's that. So I'm gonna keep on going. Let me know if any questions are on anything. Uh-oh. Get back in there and cut that. Has some of that wire coming out. Another thing you could do here, since we did curls on the white ruffles, you could always just add the ribbon to the blue ruffles. So it's dependent on you. If you're making the same, if you're wanting to make the same wreath, I want to make sure this stands out, so I'm adding it on these as well. And if you notice, I know normally I kind of alternate the ribbons. I'm not doing that for this one. And I'm bringing them both down together. Again, there's no real wrong on how to do this. You just do things based on your preference. Or if you're doing a special order, of course, then you would do as your customer wants you to do. I think it's coming out rather nicely. Something different for this time of the year. Okay, just doing 3 twists Since we're not adding any other embellishments, and we're not going to need any more of the chenille stem or pipe cleaner. And then we can tuck it under or cut it. For now, I'm just going to tuck it under, just so that we can kind of see what it's going to look like. I actually have some family coming into town for the weekend, and I'm excited. Got some fun things planned. Anybody has some fun plans for this weekend? I know it's Mother's Day weekend as well. My brother and I just want to stay busy. We don't want to think about it too much. Okay, looks like the Star of David is coming out just nicely. I think the silver is doing just enough of that sparkle. But not taking over, so I like that. That way our royal blue, and it's our main color of attraction, and has some white thrown in, just like the customer wanted. Okay, moving to the inner. And I'm just mainly focusing on my ends for the stars and on the inside. And then if we need to add a little bit more oomph, I'll go to that middle section and add more ribbons. But I think this is going to be good. I'm going to go to where we have the curl, just like on our outer. And then tucking that stem in. Oops. It wants to stay stuck to my hand. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, finding our next curl. Oops. And I'm doing this because originally I thought if I was going to put them on all, but as full as it is, I really don't think he needs it everywhere. And what's great about the wired ribbons, you can shape them up any way you like, and they pretty much stay put. are we doing? I didn't have anything like this made. She just asked me. I had all their specialty items made. Like I have the, you know, the elephant one for, you know, the Alabama football and different things. So I do tend to do some things with actual shapes. And I think that just made her think to ask, you know, to do a specialty one with the star. But I did not have anything like this specifically. But I do like having variety when I do the vendor shows for that reason, because it helps folks to think outside the box. And they can ask. Kind of opens that door. I have a cat that I make. I normally bring one of them out when it's like around that Halloween season. I do pumpkins, so they, you know, they've seen some of the different things that I make. This snowman, Mr. Grinch. It's another one. But definitely not a Star of David. This is the first one I've made in a long time. And the ones that I made before, I just did that wraparound method. I didn't do ruffles and curls or anything, because you could see more of the star doing the wraparound method. Kind of like when you do the hearts, we can do the hearts with the wraparound method. Kind of shows more the shape. I think we have one more. Yep, one more. The wire's coming out on that one. Don't want to use it. And then we'll be done. Well, can't say that I do a lot of them. I do try to do once a month. I am skipping the month of May because the place that I go most often, it's actually this weekend. And I had let them know I'm gonna take a break for Mother's Day weekend. When we're having family coming, just not gonna be out there. Mother's Day is a little, I don't know. Might be a good day to be out there for anybody that's doing a last minute gifting, but just, I don't know. But no, I don't think I do a lot. I try to do at least the once a month. I have a couple of places that I go back and forth, and there's another place that I go to, they only do it like once every other month. So then on those months I'll be doing two when we do those. But not too many at all. They do help though to get the word around, you know, for the things that you do. People get to see what you do, and I make things while I'm there, kind of draws more attention too. But here it is. I'm gonna see if I can, maybe I can pan out a little bit more. Can we see that okay on the top? See if I can, so you can kind of see it's a star shaped. And then with the ribbons and the colors, we know it's a Star of David Jewish type theme. And I'm going to change the view, and then I'm going to probably hold it on the other view just to make it easier to be seen. Maybe that'll make it a little bit better. Let's see. Haha. Alrighty. Let's see. Where can I hold it where you can see it better? Without hiding my face. Ah, thanks, Monica. So this is it. Pretty thick. all the way around, nice and full, and we can still see that star shape, which is what we wanted. Alrighty. I'll just move over a little bit. It kind of takes over on the screen. Alrighty, so I hope you enjoyed this. You can still see the star. Woohoo! Good. Good, good. Alrighty, so for maybe, I guess, the one that we were going to be making today, that beach theme one, maybe we could do that one next week. So do stay tuned for that. Just wanted to do, with this being a little bit different and, you know, such a specialty type order, just thought it would be fun to do something different on the live, and I figured, why not? I gotta make it anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if any questions on any of the mesh, I know we had basket weave and the striped edge and all of that going on, so let me know. Or the Star of David, hopefully you caught that on how you can get one. I know Craft Outlet usually has them, and if they're out of stock, if you ask them, they normally would try to get them on stock as well too. Might just take them a little bit if it's out of season. So order early if you know you're gonna want these for a specific season. But until next time, keep creating. Please do tag me on social media. And Monica, thank you again for sharing on Etsy on the shop. I saw that beautiful wreath you made with our sign, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I had to take a screenshot of it, and I share it on our Facebook page so people can see your work as well. So hope you don't mind me doing that. Just had to show how beautiful that wreath was. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And until next time, again, keep creating, stay safe, stay liquid, and we'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.